Hello, my name is Brian Montalvo Ramos, and I'm going to be demonstrating a complete software development and DevOps workflow for the following project. So the project that I chose to do this demonstration on is our To-Do Hibernate list program. So the To-Do Hibernate list program is a program that utilizes Maven based for automation, correct? And it uses Hibernate as a essentially a translator between Java and SQL. So it automates everything. So we don't have to use SQL commands. We don't have to program in the translation ourselves. Hibernate takes care of all of that for us. So that being said, since it's a Maven, we require a POM. So this is our POM right here. So it shows you exactly what we're using, right? Then we're gonna have it broken down into our main and our test, and then we're gonna have our to do DAO test. So this is the uh, test that we're doing, right? And this is the actual app itself, right? So pretty simple app has a menu. You add, you remove, and you show the task saved. All our task is saved through MySQL. So this is why we have the to do DAO, right? So the to do DAO essentially uh, makes sure that that connection is there and that it knows what to do with all our processes, right? And then the Hibernate is essentially it's a connector and translator. Simple. Um, so if we run an application right here, so let's do one add task video. So, as you can see, Hibernate is doing its job correctly. So it's translating our input, which is, I chose one and I entered video, and it's telling uh, the Java program to the SQL program, insert into to do items task, the task that we put, the value that we put, and the ID number is 22. So it's going to show you all the different tasks that we have in our actual table. So if we want to remove the task, we just do 22, and bam, Hibernate takes care of that. Exactly what we need to do. And then when it shows, yeah, 22 is gone, right? So let's say we want to run our JUnit test. We can do it through here. So go ahead and run that test. And bam, the test, add, remove. So the tests are passed. There's a different way to do it through our PowerShell, and I will show you that right now. Okay, so since we're in PowerShell right now, we're gonna hit Maven clean package. So essentially, uh, we're utilizing our Java program, which is this right here. We're creating a new package, and it's going to go through the build cycle of automating it, and it's going to tell you, bam, the build was a success. So we're going to do the testing. So we can do the testing through here as well. Bam, there's the test, and It is done. Right, so easy peasy. So after this, we're gonna have our version control. So our version control is gonna be handled through GitHub. So let me show you that real quick. Okay, so this is my GitHub. We're able to update our whole program uh, project through IntelliJ. We could push it to GitHub. So GitHub essentially handles all the different versions. So let's say if we want to make a some changes to the progress, you will come here and you'll create a new branch. Essentially, what that does is you're creating a side branch to test out whatever changes you want to make to ensure that it works correctly without damaging the full program. Once everything is done, you'll commit the changes and you'll either bring the branches together or you're gonna delete that branch, start a new one, and try again to make sure the problems are not existed or that everything's working properly, and then you just bring the branches together, and essentially you'll have a complete program, and it's gonna tell you, bam, here's the update. You merge the different branches, and everything's good to go. Our third step would be Jenkins. So Jenkins is essentially integration of the server. So Jenkins pulls the full program from the repository that we have on GitHub, right? And then it's going to do everything that we did through Maven, through the PowerShell. It's going to do it here in Jenkins. Excuse me, I have to sign in. So Jenkins is going to be our third process. Essentially, it pulls the project from GitHub and builds it. Um, so it packages the application correctly. So it limits any kind of human error. So essentially, I'm going to show you my build history right here. So this first last build was 32 minutes ago. I've been making sure that this is working properly. So what it does, it'll pull from GitHub, right? So pull from that repository. So any changes made to that GitHub repository, it's gonna update your program here, right? So that way it stays up to date. You don't have to redo everything that you did on PowerShell, and it packages it up pretty nicely without the human error aspect. Our last step would be Docker. So the last step would be Docker. So Docker essentially sets up a virtual machine on your computer that allows you to run your application completely isolated. Completely isolated from your actual machine. That way, if there's any issues or if there's any problems, nothing's going to happen to your computer. And this allows you to have a set environment uh, for the program in order to actually uh, ship it out. So for other people to use it, having the same environment. So essentially, I already have it already set up for my Docker. You would just hit run, and you're just gonna hit run. Essentially, you can set it up so it runs in a container, and the program runs in a virtual machine, self-contained. Um, the only reason this is not working as it should is because I do not have it set up for Docker to have access to MySQL. So every time you try to choose an option, or if you run it through your PowerShell, it would allow you to run it through the Docker. So this essentially you're running it through your virtual machine using the Docker program, and you're gonna go through the menu as usual. But once you hit enter for it to save on SQL, it's gonna essentially break the program or uh, reject the communication between MySQL server and the Docker program that we have. Um, if it was a regular program, self-contained, it'll work properly, no problems, and you should be able to ship it out to whoever needs it. That would be the last thing. Thank you for watching my video. Have a nice night.